I really just want to feed cupcakes to all of the elderly people. Hello, peoples. How's it going? Today we are playing some more AI Dungeon, and we're checking out this really unique and original prompt here. I'm just going to jump right into the scenario here. It says, just a small town girl. She's living in a lonely world, and she took a midnight train going anywhere. Now already that's a sense of adventure. I have no clue what could happen in these next few lines before we dive into this story. The next line says, just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. So I don't really know if we're the small town girl or the city boy. But this is interesting. We could have like a love story here, or the girl could try to murder us. You never know. And the last bit of the prompt says, a singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile, they can share the night. Now, I've never heard anything like this before. Absolutely beautiful poetry from the creator of this prompt. I'm totally kidding. I know this is a song. But nonetheless, somebody put it into a prompt, and since this is the only thing that you guys recommended that I try next on AI Dungeon, today we're going to play this scenario. So I take it that the AI is pretty much just going to take these lyrics and form them into a story for us, so that's exciting. Before we jump in, please leave a like if you're excited for this scenario, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. And if you enjoy this video, it tremendously helps out, and it allows me and my team to know that we are doing a great job. And if you do not like the video, feel free to leave a dislike, but I would ask that you please tell us why you did so, because we are always looking to improve. But don't be a dick, okay? If you're gonna tell us what we did wrong, don't be like, you just suck at YouTube. That's not helpful, okay? Be like, you suck at YouTube because, and then tell us why. Okay, enough rambling. Let us jump into the story. I'm excited about this. Okay, so the AI said, so just let the midnight train take you. Just let the midnight train take you. Tighten your grip on love. From New York to L. You know, I really love the city of L. It's quite a nice place to live. They've got great, cows. I'm gonna let the story kind of continue here. Oh, we're going to LA. Okay, well, you know, that's not as cool as L, but also I want to point out that I hit enter so the story would continue, and literally all it said was A. It just added the A on LA. I guess I'll let it continue again. Let's see what it can come up with. Just let the midnight train take. Yeah, I got that. Thanks. I understand that you want the midnight train to take me. Just let the midnight train take you. Take me down to LA. Okay, so the AI is really not doing me a solid here. Real quick though, what if these were the actual lyrics to the song? What if the whole chorus of the song was just like, just let the midnight train take you. Just let the midnight train take you to LA. Just let the midnight train take you. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Okay, I'm gonna try to just allow the story to continue here. I have chosen to be the city boy, so I'm gonna go say hi to the small town girl. He says, well, it's nice meeting you. You say, I'm going to miss you. He gets a little emotional and says, yeah, me too. Alright, so right off the bat, I said go say hi to the small town girl, but apparently she's a he. What a plot twist. This might make me a bad person, but this is just the first thing that came to mind. I said, wanna throw rocks at the elderly when we get to LA? He says, yeah. You say, come on, I've always wanted to do that. He says, let's do it. The two of you run away and get some rocks. You throw a few at a nearby elderly person and watch them fall to the sidewalk. Hilarious. Even the AI is like, that's hilarious. I said, take that, you saggy person. He laughs and says, I don't have a problem with my age. How about you? No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the old You know what? Never mind. I said, haha, you're dumb, aren't you? He says, I must have hit you pretty hard. You laugh and say, I'll say, but anyways, come on, let's take the train. The AI only knows one thing, and it's that everybody is taking trains on this story, so I guess we need to incorporate a train. I said, what if we tied this elderly person to the train tracks? He says, that would be dangerous. You say, oh yeah, that would be really dangerous. He stops you and says, okay, so we're gonna do this crap again where you don't tell me what they actually say, you just stop mid-sentence. I have an idea. The two of you pick up the elderly person and run as fast as you can. I'm just gonna let the story continue, I guess, because I kind of want to know what the AI has in mind for the elderly person. You hear the train getting louder and louder and closer. You both take that last step onto the tracks and are about to get crushed when the train runs you over. Wow, that was a really great idea. Which one of us had this idea? You know what? I'm just happy that we brought the elderly elderly person with us. That makes me happy. I don't know why it had to be elderly people this time. I usually use orphans, you know, like there's been a lot of orphans in our stories, so I figured it was about time to give the elderly people a chance. I want to know what happens after I get ran over though. You don't feel a thing and the world keeps turning. That seems like some lyrics that should be in the song. It's not time for the episode to be over yet, so I just said survive. You and your friend survived the train wreck. You and your friend stood up, dusting yourselves off and inspect the place where you were. Now I'm not going to take away the opportunity to survive the train wreck from the elderly person. So all I said was, hey look, there's the elderly person. Whether they're dead or not is up to the AI. Your friend is looking in the direction you're looking. He says, I don't see any person. You can continue to look and say, I see a foot, some tissue, bone, skin. Yay! The AI chose correctly. I don't know, I just said Steve Irwin's gonna be pissed. You shrug and continue to look at the scattered remains of the person you were talking about. There's two things that Steve Irwin loves: crocodiles and elderly. We just fecked with the wrong person. You decide to look around a little more and your friend says, I think I found something else. He's holding a wedding ring. Do you think they might match? He asks. What? Huh? Who's matching what? Might need to get it checked out, you reply. You were a few feet away from a person. You could still feel their presence. You wonder what comes next. Are you talking about the dead person? Is that what's going on? Did you just pull that wedding ring off of a severed hand? This is really morbid. This is not the way I expected this to go. I guess this is partially my fault. I did want to tie the person to the train tracks, but then my friend was like, well, it'd be way better if we got ran over along with the person. Then we don't have to buy rope. I don't really want to be here anymore because the story is just like, look at the dead body. So I said, let's get out of here. You were dead set on leaving the crime scene and your friend agrees with you. Let's get out of here. You walk away from the wreckage of the man you met earlier. If by met you mean I hit him with some rocks and then got him murdered by a train, then yeah, sure, I guess. I said, okay, it's your turn to choose what we do to elderly people. As you're walking down the street, your friend says, so what are we going to do to elderly people? I just told you it was your turn, you idiot. You think for a second and say, I don't know. I said, you decide. Your friend thinks for a minute and then says, we need a plan. You look around your surroundings and say, so? You give your friend a minute to come up with something. He looks down at his feet. He pauses and looks at you. I swear if he says, let's kick him, then I'm gonna laugh so hard. You want to do this? He scratches at his head and then he looks at you again. I said, do you want to kick them? Your friend nods and you nod back in agreement. Your friend says, it's not the best idea, but I'm with you. We need to do something about all these old people. I said, you start kicking anyone over the age of 60. You and your friend kick, smack, punch, and throw the elderly out of your way as you make your way down the street.
Making my way downtown, walking fast.
You leave a trail of broken bones with your movements. Oh man, this is a sad day for elderly people. I mean, only if you're in LA, I guess. You feel good doing it and it's fun, but you're hoping no one really gets too caught up in it. You get away without any problems, but the elderly do start screaming at you.
Hey, stop kicking me in the nuts, sonny boy!
Was that good, guys? Did you like my elderly accent? It was fantastic, wasn't it? Robinson, is this morally wrong? Why? Why is this morally wrong? I don't care if they're defenseless or anything like that, dude. You gotta understand that they're a plague on LA. You have never been to LA, so you wouldn't understand. Alright, we need a way to finish up this story in a moral manner, so I am going to have a change of heart and do something good for once. Alright, so we're gonna start off. You slit your friend's throat. The two of you run further, leaving a trail of blood in your wake. You feel his life slipping away and decide in one last act of vicious cruelty to slit his throat. Okay, so that takes care of one of the murderers, okay? That way he can no longer wreak havoc, alright? That was the small town girl, by the way. I just want to remind you guys of that. You give cupcakes and kisses to all of the elderly people you hurt. What, you say? He's in shock that you killed your friend and doesn't even get why you would do such a thing. My character's like, no, I'm not going to go give cupcakes to all of the people who you just had me kick. He's like, you wanted this. Why are you making me apologize? It's like when you make a little kid apologize to their friend for pushing them. They're like, no, I won't do it. I won't apologize. Except for, you know, this time we kind of like murdered and like maimed people, but it's the same thing, trust me. I just said do it. He's confused, frightened, and in pain. He doesn't understand why you would do such a thing. You stop and stare at him. His face is twisted in pain and his eyes are begging for mercy. I don't care. This is talking about the small town girl again, and I really don't care about him. That was a really interesting sentence, but I really just am trying to end this episode. He's dead, okay? Freaking finish him. Finish him off. There, he's finished off. Hopefully, let's see what happens. You put your fingers to his eyes and push them into his skull as far as they'll go. He screams in pain as his body goes limp. You stand up and begin to feel a rush. Why did you have to kill him that way? You clearly had a knife if you slit his throat. Just like, that's not what I wanted. I didn't need that image in my head. You didn't have to do that with the eyes and the fingers. Ugh, that's gross. They do that in movies sometimes, and it's always so disgusting. Like, why would you want that in your movie? That's gross. I mean, fair enough if like your character needs to be blind, but like this was uncalled for, AI Dungeon. I am in disgust. And that's a lot coming from me because I like fed an elderly person to a train earlier. Yes, I did say I fed it to the train. You can't prove otherwise because the elderly person's not here to say so. So I'm the only witness now after I shoved my friend of small town girl's eyes into her skull. Alright, I'm gonna ask nicely one more time for you to give cupcakes to the elderly. I put Piron. I meant to say persons or people, or I don't even know what I meant to say. You open your mouth to speak. Thanks, the man says, putting the muffin into his mouth. It's a cupcake, you idiot. You nod and decide to leave to find someone else to kill. No, that's not what I wanted. I really just want to feed cupcakes to all of the elderly people. You wait for the elderly to reach you. They don't seem to be angry anymore, they just seem hungry. You put cupcakes into their mouths and watch as they consume them. Thanks, they say. Yay! Ryan did something good. This feels really weird. You know what? I'm okay with it though. This is a good feeling to have. I couldn't help it. I'm so sorry. I fecked up. I said kill them all. I'm sorry. I couldn't handle it and it was too good. You smile as they beg you for mercy. You take your knife and chop off their heads. You leave the bodies to bleed out all over the floor. Well, you know, it was good while it lasted. I mean, they got a decent final meal at least. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I would try to make amends. I was like thinking like maybe I could feed like their children or grandchildren, but I'd probably just end up getting them killed too. So I think like the best thing that I can do for the elderly people at this point is just not associate with their families or like them any longer, even though like they're dead. So yeah, I clearly can't associate with them, but their families, I think I should probably stay away from them. It's for the best.
Mom, when's Grandpa gonna get here?
Oh, he's gonna be here soon. He's just gotta go by the train station on the way to pick up tickets for tomorrow's trip that we're all gonna go on. But little did Timmy know, Grandpa was not coming home with the train tickets. Alright everybody, if you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. It will help out a ton and let us know to make more content like this. Finally, please leave suggestions for next AI dungeon in the comments below. I could do a random prompt, but I really like doing prompts that you guys suggest for me to do because it allows me to interact with the community and that makes me happy. So if you have any good prompts that you have made or that you have played, please leave them in the comments below. Leave a link and I will check them out and pick my favorite for the next episode. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode of AI Dungeon. I really had a good time playing this. If you ever were wondering what happened in the song after they took the train and whatnot, this is how it happened after that. They went to LA, murdered some old people, and well, after they fed them cupcakes. So you know, it's kind of balances out on the karma scales, I feel, right, Westbot? Yeah, okay, see, he agrees with me. Totally, definitely didn't just say that's not how it works. I know that for a fact. Okay, that's enough rambling from me. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time.